We're back! It's my favorite time of year. It's October. I love October. It smells so good. And I feel like my car projects just are better in October. I got all my stuff painted last week, and I also got this seat slider thing too. I got a lot of cool things, and I'm gonna bring the Corvette around so we can get started on progress. If you missed any videos, I'll link them here for you. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe so you won't miss any of my Corvette progress. I've got other things too. After this car, I'm trying to decide, like, I'm already thinking of the end of this. Not that I want to, but it will happen. I'm gonna finish. It's inevitable. And I was laying in bed last night and I was thinking, like, man, I miss working on my Mustang. My Mustang was a lot of fun. Besides the current Mustang I have that I've gotta un-F it because I effed it by lowering it too much and putting crappy coilovers on it. So besides that, I was thinking, how cool would it be to have another Mustang? Or maybe it would be cool to have another Camaro. I don't know. I don't know where the wind will take me, and I shouldn't even be thinking about it right now because project cars are expensive. But anyways, let's get to it. I would love to know your thoughts though on a project car. I really would. All right, I'll see you in my Corvette in 3, 2, 1. I present to you the love of my life. Just kidding, actually, that's not the love of my life. My 91 Camaro is the love of my life. Sorry, you're a close second, but gotta keep it straight. So before I get started on the interior situation, I actually want to add this trim back on. It's been driving me insane, and I got to do it right in the beginning because I have to lay out this like gluey thing stuff here. So I'm going to do that right now. So you don't have to lay this out, and you probably shouldn't lay it out, but I'm going to anyway. I did it on my front. I'm gonna do it on my back too. You can't touch this stuff, so I have to waste a nice pair of gloves on this. I don't like to waste my gloves, but no glove, no love. I need something else. Oh yes, my leaf blower. It's got all these little clips, and most of them are intact. There were like a couple that broke, but I think it should be okay. To replace these little clips, you actually have to take the entire rear window out. That's like, I guess legend has it, because I haven't experienced that myself, but I've watched enough YouTube videos with grown men telling me that that is the only way, and I believe them. It is the way. So I definitely don't want to have to replace any clips. So if I broke a few, it is what it is. That's where my ribbon sealer will come into play. I love this rapid tack stuff, this cleaner. I use it all the time. It's actually to prepare a car for wrap, but it cleans really well and it kind of leaves the surface with like a tacky feeling. 6 clips broke. I think that there's 23 clips in total, and there are 6 broken ones, and 6 broken ones is enough for me to get by without thinking that I have to replace this whole windshield. Okay. For those of you wondering, what on earth am I doing with these sticky worm pieces? So in my head, my intention is I want to seal up the possibility of, I guess, water getting between the new molding and somehow under that glass, because I'm sure that adhesive that's holding the glass dome to the car is probably cracked, and that's probably why there was rain in the car. So I'm thinking if I squeeze this stuff in there, it will seal it, and it definitely can't hurt. Right? I mean, it can't hurt. So this is the trim that I bought. I've been waiting. I've been so excited to use this trim. My excitement for this part was quickly extinguished when I realized that this couldn't possibly fit my car. It wasn't even in the same planet of fitting my car. And I just didn't quite understand. You know, I knew in the package it looked a little weird. I just thought, oh, you know, it's a, you know, aftermarket. It's not OEM. Of course, you know, it's not going to look the same. And it said, look, on the package, I kept reading 79 to 81, 79 to 81. I was so certain. Well, my trim panels aren't the right shape, size. They're not even from the same planet that I need them to be from. And I'm dying to know if I ordered the wrong ones. I mean, it says 78 to 81 Corvette. Like, and it's so far from the truth. Gosh, I gotta remember where I got them from. I wonder if I got them from Top Flight. Top douchebag automotive. I'm gonna look it up right now. I ordered them some time ago. There it is. Second generation, 1978 to 1981. Oh my gosh. I'm an idiot. Oh my gosh. You see what that says there? Camaro. I ordered it for Camaro. Oh man, I don't even drink. Like, it's not like I bought this drunk. That's so sad. Oh my gosh, I spent $200 on the wrong. Now I need a 1981 Camaro. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. I feel ridiculous. All right, well, I'm gonna put that away, and I'm gonna do some more coats of paint on some of my trim pieces. So we're just gonna move on in life from that, and I'm gonna refurbish my existing trim since I'm not gonna spend another $200. I could return it. I wonder, it's probably past the return date. Top Flight's a little weird about returning things. Gosh, you guys, oh my gosh. I could sell it on OfferUp, but then, you know, you get so many people reaching out, and then they never show up, and then you put something up for like, that's brand new, that was $200, and you put it up for $180, and someone offers you $10 for it, and it just sends you into a spiral of rage. I don't need that drama in my life, so I'll just save it here for the future. Man, whew. I also need my metal stripper. I don't know what I did with it. I don't think I used it all. I spent all this time organizing this just to destroy it. Metal stripper, metal stripper. It was like a spray, there it is. There you are, my little dangerous container of metal stripper, paint remover, meth. Okay, let's get this going. I got a confession to make. The last time I used this stuff, I wore the proper gear. I wore gloves, I wore a mask, you know, all that good stuff. And I didn't realize that as I was spraying this, a droplet fell on my thigh. Totally didn't notice until later that day. I put on shorts to go to the beach, and I was driving my car, and I looked down and I saw this like quarter size hot red circle on my thigh. And I thought, oh my gosh, did I get bit by something? And then I realized what it was, and I freaked out because I thought this burn was going to like give me some kind of blood disease. It took like a month for it to go away. The danger has been sprayed. We'll let it sit for 45 minutes. Now in my paint shop, rub-a-dub-dub. Generally, you don't want to touch these things with your fingers and leave fingerprints because your fingers have grease on them. But I'm past the point of caring. I'm just going to be extra careful. The weather's really nice. Besides the wind. Anybody dressing up for Halloween? I got my costume planned. I'm excited about it. It's got nothing to do with cars and everything to do with music. If I was going to get a Camaro project car, I think it would be like a nothing super old. It would be like a 2011 to 2013. I think would be kind of cool. I also thought getting one of those first gen, well, not first gen, but like they're those chargers, also like an 11. I think I'm really interested in those years of cars right now because I don't own any. Like the Mustangs, like anything between 2010, 2013, the Mustang, the Camaro, the Charger, I don't know. I just want something really different. But after I finish this Corvette, I got some maintenance to do on some of my cars. Like my Mercedes needs an oil change. It needs some wrap, it needs a new grille, it needs to be debadged, it needs an illuminated star, it needs new underglow put on. I mean, it's a whole project. I fear that nobody would want to watch me do that stuff though, because it strays so far away from a 1980 Corvette and all like the American muscle cars. Like, why would you want to watch me work on a Mercedes when we've met all this time over working on American muscle, specifically from the 80s and the 90s, right? So then I'd have to just do that Mercedes and not document it. And I don't have time to work on a car and not document it. I'm just babbling. Anybody like horror movies? Every year I watch all the original Universal classics. So like Dracula, Mummy, Frankenstein, Wolfman. My favorite is the Wolfman and Dracula. All-time favorites. What are yours? Tell me. Actually, give me something that's gonna scare the pants off me, but that's not demonic. Because I like to be scared, but I don't want to feel like the devil's trying to get me. So I think that cancels out any suggestions from you, Ken Bobber. I think all your suggestions would just be a little bit too scary for me. All right. Right, so I got the dangerous metal stripper sprayed on that rear trim piece. I don't even know why I bought a new one in the beginning. Like, I really have to get out of the habit of buying something new when the original one can be fixed. I don't know what is wrong with me, but I am getting away from that. And I also have put another coat of paint on my trim pieces because I thought that I coated them enough last week, and then when I looked at them this week, in certain light I could kind of see some spotty stuff, and I have a whole new can of spray paint, so I decided to do that too. Let's figure out that boot situation. Let's order the correct size right now. There's no Joann's anymore. Where do you go for a fabric store? Apparently there's no Joann's anymore, so I've got to find a fabric store. There's nothing around me. Let's get on with it. Alright. Oh my god, there's a spider web in my car. Jesus. Whoa. It's like a mega spider web. What the heck? I mean, I just was in the car last week. I need to take my seat out. I need some screws and some things. Dare I? Dare I? Like, the most morbid thought occurred to me that I'm going to probably die before I ever use these or remember what they're for again. I think they're for my they're for my Bentley. They are for the undercarriage. Yes, never mind. I take that back. I'm not gonna die before I know what those are, because I know what they are now and I'm not dead. These are what I was looking for, these guys. So I learned this amazing trick from one of my friends on YouTube named William, and he told me about heating things up to make holes in carpet. So he told me how to do the seatbelt things, how you heat up a socket and you put it through the hole, you put it in the carpet where the hole is, and it just burns this beautiful clean hole. And I realized I can do that with many things. So look at me. I got out my blowtorch and I got out this little mini baby screwdriver, and I heated it up, and it's making these beautiful clean holes, and it's actually a lot of fun to poke them through. Let me tell you. Now these panels, when I say they're cheap, they're like a hair away from being like cardboard. They are that cheap. And I knew this was going to be frustrating, but it's got to be done. So here I am doing it. It's a real bone crusher. There's another layer though of carpet that I have to penetrate to get in there. I just had my perfectly cut hole. This is a real rib breaker. I mean, everything starts to ache. Other side. Before we do the other side, let's scrape off that paint real quick. I believe it's been 45 minutes. So if you let this stuff sit for too long, it just gums up. So there's this sweet spot you got to get. They say 45 minutes, but depending on how hot it is in the day, it might be less, it might be more. But when it's working, it's working. It just like rubs right off. So I use this steel wool to kind of, try to coax it, make it a little bit easier to come off. But what I was finding is that, well, I needed another layer of this toxic stuff, and I'm pretty much fresh out. I didn't realize the can of this stuff is $33 on Amazon. Ouch. So I did end up ordering another can after my day was done so I could continue the danger and get these parts stripped nicely. And if I had just done that in the beginning, I would have saved myself $200. This cardboard piece that I use is precious. I must save it. And then while I'm on my way back to the garage, I might as well make another layer of paint on my plastic pieces. The final layer, that is. The final layer. Now, with all that done, it is time to pull the seat back out of my car. I'm so terrified that I'm going to somehow scrape my brand new door panel with one of this, the pieces of metal here. I'd be so upset. Oh my gosh. There's like these three, they're not prongs, but they're anchor points. And in these anchor points are these cheap plastic, they almost like, they look like tacos. So these cheap plastic tacos are jammed into these anchors, and then the screws go in there. Anyways, I'm missing a taco on this side, and it looks like I'm missing a taco on that side, but I can replace it with any kind of like anchory thingy. I'm just missing one taco. Let me get my replacement taco. Okay. So I just use these to replace it. They're actually much better. I should use them on all of them, but I'm not. All right, so it anchors into here, and then one here. This is that cheap plastic taco that I was saying. And then there's one back here, down there. So there you have it. That's how this goes. Gotta screw these in just a little bit ahead of time, right into my thigh. How do I screw those in? Okay. I'm afraid if I bolt this down, so I thought this went down and then this could go on, but then this actually has to bolt on first, then these. And then what if I bolt all this down and then this still needs to get bolted down? Hold on. It's stupid if you ask me. I see where I goofed up. These panels cannot go on first. They must slide under. So, all right, I can't build the center console after all. Sorry. Okay, and then I found out that I can't find a boot that fits this size, so I'm gonna have to make one. And they shut down all the fabric stores around my house. Blah, blah, complain. It's so frustrating when you hit like a stopping point and it's for something so silly. Like I can't put my center console in until I have that boot. I mean, I guess I could, but then I'd have to just figure out a way to glue the boot in. I mean, I could, but I'm gonna put my slider on my seat and see if that works first. I have started stripping the paint on the back trim, finished painting my interior headliner pieces, and worked on the center console. Let me get something complete. Let it be the seat. Let it be the seat. Please let it be the seat. The fact that I used wire cutters to open this box speaks volumes about my mindset. I was going to put the slider seat in my car, and it turned out to be the level of frustration is higher than I have patience-wise. I got to take a break from it. I just have to take a break. Like, my back is absolutely killing me. I've made some great progress. Why stop? I'm sorry, why keep going if it's not fun, right? And that seat situation, it's not fun. I didn't have the proper setup. I've got it like laid up on a Tupperware container. I'm on my knees and I'm too lazy to get my knee pad. You know, I'm making it harder than it needs to be, and I don't want to because I want to enjoy working my car. So I'm gonna pack up for the day and we'll go over the progress that we did make before we lost our minds. We painted all these pieces. They are extremely perfectly ready now to be mounted. Well, there you have it. Another dish of fresh, heaping hot progress was my 1980 C3 Corvette. I have to fiddle-diddle around with that seat. For now, it is placed in gingerly and not bolted down. I'm tempted just to drive the car around like that too, because I miss driving the car. I haven't been able to drive it around since I haven't bolted in my seat. I didn't anticipate the slider bar being of so many pieces, and it wouldn't even matter if it wasn't at the end of my progress day and so many things didn't go wrong today, like ordering the wrong trim panel for the rear window and running out of aircraft paint stripper. It's all good though. I will be sad when I'm done with it, so I do have to make that boot still. You know, that is what it is. I'm gonna pull out the old sewing machine and try to make one. I was trying to find the one that was like a similar size but larger, and then maybe tweak it from there, but I couldn't find that either. Boots, or, you know, dust covers, whatever you want to call them, is a stick shift piece of leather that I need. I don't see a way around it. I do feel like I can assemble everything without that component being in there if I figure out a way to gingerly glue it, but then it's probably gonna look like junk. So I just have to get my butt over to a fabric store and get some leather or some pleather. Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you all next week, next Friday. I hope you're having a wonderful October and a happy, happy weekend. See you next time. I thought I'd take you through a typical day during the week of my life, because I forgot to shoot an ending when I was doing my video. So this is my pit bull. His name is Oogie. I adopted him from the Carson Animal Shelter. His birth name was Perry the Platypus, and he likes to rip my clothes off and my sweater and just destroy everything in the house. So I have to sneak into the kitchen to get my breakfast. He's also deaf. Long story short, I also have a squirrel. I have a really good reason for having a squirrel. I won't explain it right now. Don't judge, but his name is Squibble and he is my squirrel. And I have to feed him before I go to work. Before I go off to work, I spray just a tad, and by just a tad, I mean copious amounts of perfume all over my body so I can smell as nice as possible. I leave my house with about 5 minutes to get to work, and my drive is about an hour to an hour and a half. Before I leave, again, I've got to fight off Oogie because he wants to rip my clothes and maul me. Out of pure love, of course. He just wants to love me. As my dog is trying to maul me, I also have to prepare my squirrel's milk for the day. It is a special squirrel milk replacement that he needs to eat every 4 hours because he still is a baby. Finally getting into my car, I've got my squirrel's cage packed in my car and my squirrel right next to me. I put his heated seat on because I need him to be warm because he's not able to regulate his body temperature yet. All packed and ready to go. I've got my Hi-Yo drink. It's supposed to calm my nerves, which it really doesn't, but whatever. After I feed my baby squirrel and I fight off my pit bull puppy, I make it safely into my car. In my passenger side, I've got my squirrel. He goes with me every single day to work. It takes me usually between an hour to an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours to get to work. I try to leave during peak low traffic time. I also fight the urge to jump in the carpool lane when things get heavy. My preferred daily commuter is a 4-cylinder Porsche Macan. It goes very undetected in the carpool lane. Nobody expects a little innocent Porsche Macan to be driving illegally in the carpool lane. There's usually some catastrophic event at work waiting for me. Today it's an internet outage. We rely heavily on internet at my work. Since I don't have any meetings scheduled today at work, I'm able to wear something a little bit more relaxing, like this pink velour jumpsuit. It is the epitome of a high-end professional. I also try not to exceed the speed limit. Well, the speed limit is 68, and I drive no faster than 86. Now, granted, a 4-cylinder Porsche Macan is not the most exciting car to drive to work. It's not like, I've driven my Mustang to work, which it's way too low. I end up scraping everything. The coilovers suck on it. It just rattles your brain until you feel like you're having an aneurysm. I've driven my 89 Corvette to work, which is great until you have to drive home at night because I blacked out the front window like an idiot. I think I modify my cars until the point where they're like nearly or to the point of undrivability. But this car, I can go like all week driving my long distance and not have to put gas in it. And it's got a little sport mode, so it is kind of sporty. It's got like paddle shifters and stuff. I surprise a few people with it for sure. They don't see me coming. Not that I'm racing people in this, but if I were, it would surprise them. The most fun car I take to work, which is also the most dangerous, is my 1980 C3 Corvette. I've taken that to work many of a time, and that car is so hard not to race everyone, especially BMWs, because these BMWs, they think that they're like the king of the road, or Hellcats too, and they probably see my car and they think, oh, it's some old ass 305 piece of junk, V8 in it. Little do they know that is not the case, and I've smoked them. Now obviously this is not a great idea because the car is completely straight piped. It's loud. I mean, it sounds like it's a legit race car, and I shouldn't draw attention to myself doing these things, but something comes over me and I have no power over myself. A car comes speeding next to me, I stop being me. I am no longer in control of my functions, my body, my mind, and I just must show them just who the king of the road or the queen of the road is. I can't take it anymore! Carpool lane it is. I never have my clicker, so when I do get here, I usually have to pee my pants because of the long drive, and then I just wait for somebody to open the gate for me. Here we go. Flash forward like 10 hours later and I'm on my road, and even though it's like 8 o'clock, there's gridlock traffic all the way home. There you have it. I ran out of things to do and I forgot to shoot the ending of my video when I was actually shooting my video. So I present to you random things about my day. I was thinking of doing a Q&A next time. And so if you have any questions for me about anything at all, ask them and I will answer them truthfully. I promise. All right, I'll see you next time.